Hey, what's up, guys? So today is day 75 of the $2 million contractor in 6 months challenge. It's the contractor charity challenge. I uh, I have bet 200 grand that I can build a $2 million contractor of projects built in 365 days with just $100 in a truck. We started January 22nd. If I lose, 200 grand goes to Operation Underground Railroad to fight the trafficking of children. If I win, O.U.R gets 10% of the company being built. Okay, so big day over the weekend. We we signed a what's going to be about a 300 grand addition into design today. And yesterday we had a very difficult red line in design. This was initially estimated to be a $400,000 to $500,000 addition. That's going to be closer to $600,000 to $700,000, and surprisingly, the clients took it well, which just goes to show: be honest, forthright, transparent, competent. What can they argue with? Cost what it costs. So I kind of wish that I held to the original bet, which was 100 grand to build a $1 million business in 90 days, because it's day 75 and here we are. But that's okay. You guys are actually going to get more out of this by seeing me put another million into design and then get this all built within the first year and set it up in such a way that I remove myself from day-to-day operations. And I think that's going to be eye-opening for a lot of people. And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Lane Boland. I'm the founder of Remodel Commander. We've been around for a couple years. I have the distinctive honor to have worked with over 40 multi-million-dollar general contractors, many of whom have added well over $1 million to their top line while increasing their bottom line by orders of magnitude in the space of 6 months to a year. And that's kind of become my life's calling. So anyway, today's notes. We got that $300,000 agreement signed. Fucking awesome. Wish I could show it to you, except I don't know how to sanitize it. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to be a bit more guarded with my data because of some of the personal attacks I'm getting from haters that are now actively interfering with this challenge and with business operations in general, which is fine. I'm never going to speak your name, and yeah, it's fine. Karma will take care of you. But anyway, we also got that $500,000 edition redlined. It's going to be closer to 700 grand, but don't pop the champagne just yet. We're going to have redline meeting 3 before this thing goes to selections. So I'm not going to celebrate until this deal goes to selections, because that means we're definitely getting the job. Over the weekend, this weekend, we're executing a really big handyman project for 3,000 to 4,000. I mean, for handyman, that's big. For design build, that's not even a line item. But we need the gross profit to execute a couple of our operations, and that'll work out. Right now, I'm on location away from Seattle, working with my portfolio partner and colleague, Rich Lee, out of Pacifica, California. We're putting together the systems to get him out of the design process and get him out of day-to-day field management. He has got to be one of the most hardworking and brilliant builders that I've met, because as a solo one-man operation who all decisions run through in his business, the guy is building over $4 million a year, which is just mind-blowing. And with the systems we put in place, I'm going to be very upset with myself if we don't see him in low 8 figures within a year and a half. But that's just the pressure I'm putting on myself. Anyway, took a really big L today Some of my haters have gotten a hold of some of the designers that I've been courting or working with in King County, and spreading some just outright lies about me. It's kind of funny, but nonetheless, let's just say we're not going to be doing business, and that kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's their loss because we have a crazy strong process both for marketing, sales, design management, build management. They're the only ones losing out of this, and it's just it's really unfortunate. It came to that, and I thought high school for me ended 22 years ago, but here we are. Anyway, my message tonight is really just be grateful for your enemies, guys. I don't know about you, but when people wrongfully take something from me, it really sharpens my focus. Really sharpens my focus. And if you really want to judge a business partner or judge, an employee or even a vendor for that matter, put them under crazy pressure and see how they respond. Because under that pressure, their mask is going to come off, and how they respond to that adversity is going to speak volumes about their character. And if that's somebody that you can really stand in with. And so when, don't get me wrong, the pressure is on me right now. And it is imperative that I stay calm and just focus on what matters, which is the client, right? You can't do anything about your competition, what they choose to do, what they don't choose to do. You can't control other people's actions, whether ethical, above board, below board, legal, illegal, doesn't matter. You can't control that. And quite frankly, the audience, the prospects out there, they're going to gravitate to the person that provides them the most value. So just to stay maniacally obsessed with your prospect, with your customer, and not just delivering them quality, because quality is the bare minimum. It's delivering them quality in the shortest amount of time for the most reasonable cost. Notice I didn't say the cheapest, the most reasonable cost with the least hassle, right? So, yeah, for me, it's a really simple formula. I want to be the most expensive option, but I absolutely must be able to prove I'm the fastest with the least hassle. And that formula has served me and my remodel commander colleagues very, very well. You're seeing this happen in this challenge. I'm super excited to do these dispatches to you, not from a dingy hotel room, but from an actual job site, which launches in 2 weeks, and from the different designer showrooms as we work the other two jobs through design. What's going to happen next is we're going to put this $1 million cohort into build, and so it's going to sit in design for probably 65 to 80 days, maybe 90, probably longer. But the point is, I'm going to manipulate the client meetings so that all these jobs enter into build within a week of each other, right? All within the same month. And the reason for that is when you understand your draw schedules and you set it up right in your contract, we're gonna pull 26% at contract signing, 19 to 22% when demo starts, another 17 to 19% when the framing package arrives. So upwards of 61% of the job will bill before framing even starts. And we're going to be pricing anywhere from a 35 to a 40% margin. So take 35% of $1 million is 350 grand. 60% of that is 180,000. A bona fide construction manager who's been there, done that, That's like my favorite phrase. I've been there, done that. A construction Yoda. Somebody who has forgotten more about how to build than I could possibly learn. A guy like that, it's going to cost me 120 to 150 a year in Seattle. And so when I have 180 grand of gross profit in our first cohort, that's going to take 4 to 5 months to build, meaning we're going to get 2.2 turns out of that. I'm going to get 2.2 cohorts of 1 million. So 2.2 million, go ahead and multiply 2.2 times 300,000. We're looking at 660,000, of which I'm sitting on 180,000 in my first cohort. What I'm trying to get at is I have the cash sitting in the bank account to afford a full year's salary of the guy I'm going to hire to manage the build, because you don't want me managing the build. I understand design process. I understand, quality management, but in terms of troubleshooting problems in the field, I'm useless, very useless. I recognize that as my blind spot. And so I'm setting the game up in such a way that I can afford the best possible talent in the market to backfill my blind spot, so that we have a world-class team of me, Peter, who is my partner in Bellevue, along with Kyle. Kyle's going to be more of a construction director role, overseeing the Tacoma office primarily and advising the Bellevue office. So I need a proper project manager in Bellevue, so that Peter will run the project director, the sales activities, so I can focus on continuing to grow the business, in the form of business development activities, right? So developing more relationships, developing our new business unit, which is going to be the handyman business, which brings us to our evolving strategy. So Operation Ragnarok launches next Monday. And what we're doing is we're going to email every realtor in King County 9 times. And what we're looking for is a realtor who understands digital marketing to match me dollar for dollar in a funnel that's targeting boomers who want to downsize and millennials looking to rehab a shitbox in the good neighborhood. And then once I get that deal signed, I'm going to turn around and lay off my liability for ad spend to a series of mortgage loan officers and insurance agents to stand in for my contribution in exchange for access to the leads. Yeah, that way I'm sitting with no money in the deal, but I control the deal. I own the funnel, and I have the relationships with the mortgage loan officers, the insurance agents, and the single realtor broker. It's going to work out great, trust me. That email starts Monday. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to show you the results of that. Second is a strategic decision I've made as of today. I don't know what it is about the design community in greater Seattle, and except for my existing value design partners, a lot of them are pretty catty and petty. And what I'm getting at is I'm going to stand up a funnel that's targeting the homeowners considering a remodel who have engaged a designer, offering a second opinion and planting doubt in their head that designer knows what they're doing in terms of creating airtight construction documents, which most don't. Most don't. There's a few that do, and those are worth their weight in gold, but most don't. And do they know what construction actually costs, which is an even fewer number. And so my strategy here is to take advantage of natural human curiosity and also fear of the unknown. It's so easy to sell insurance rather than to sell stocks, right? Because insurance plays on fear of loss, whereas stocks plays on greed, right? The fear of loss is a stronger psychological impulse than greed, right? So we're going to tap into that that primal behavior. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what we call a risk report inside RC for all these clients. So they'll be bringing me their janky designers plans, and I'm going to rip them to shreds. It's going to look like a murder scene on that paper. And then everything that's incomplete, insufficient, or inaccurate between the spec sheet and the drawings, I'm going to cite as a potential change order, and and explicitly quote what they can expect to pay as a change order as a result of the incomplete, inaccurate, or insufficient designs, and then tally up all those deficiencies into one big number. And then I'm going to ask the homeowner, are you comfortable with this level of risk? And they're going to say no. And then I'm going to pitch them a project development package to tighten up these designs. And if the designer wants to play ball and be a good subcontractor, I'll sub that work back to them to fix their work. Otherwise, I'm going to rip the deal away from them. I'm not playing nice anymore. I've had it with politics, not playing politics anymore. We're going to play straight up meritocracy. Do you or do you not know what you're doing? Period. Because I know how to market. I know how to advertise. I don't need to play nice. All right. Do I need quality design relationships? Absolutely. But part of being a quality relationship is those people need to respect us as builders back. And we hold all the cards, because the homeowner is not paying for pretty pictures on a piece of paper. They are paying for a completed project, which the designer cannot, most often the time, designer is not equipped to deliver. They say they are, but they're not. So I've seen this gap in the marketplace, and part of being a business person is I'm taking a risk here, but we're going to shoot our shot and cast our dice, see what happens. I'm pretty sure we're going to be okay. The second big strategic move, or third strategic move, is Operation Mr. Fix-It, which launches April 22nd. So I'm using the gross profit from the design agreement we just signed on Saturday and the gross profit from the big handyman deal that's going this weekend to launch a handyman service. We're going to leverage Google Local Services ads pointed to an answering service, which is going to pitch a diagnostic deposit that credits the job when the quote is accepted. Meaning, the homeowner calls in and they're going to be like, yada, 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 hole in my drywall, yada, 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 running toilet, yada, 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 leaking ceiling. And they're going to want a quote. And the answering service is going to say, okay, love to give you a quote. The next step is to schedule your diagnostic. We have X time or Y time available. It will be a $69 deposit that credits towards your quote when you accept it, Visa or MasterCard, right? And then the second part is I'm going to pay my handyman techs. I'm going to pay the boys 30% of the contract value, and I'm going to train them to estimate in 2, 4, or 8-hour increments. That excludes any material that has to be picked out by the homeowner and purchased separately, right? In other words, selections, okay? So fixtures, finishes, okay? If the homeowner needs to decide what it's going to be, it's not part of the bid. They got to buy it separately. We'll go pick it up. This is my handyman model, which I learned from a gentleman named Phil Green, who is one of the smartest brains in this space. So smart to the tune that last month I saw a report that showed a 61.99% gross margin, and who turned $109,000. So that's well over 60 grand of profit on just $1,500 in ads. DM me for the details. I'll hook you up. But anyway, so I'm going to run that system. and what I need to do next is figure out what my billable hour is going to be. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to look at what the target. I'm going to look at what the top 10% target annual compensation is for a handyman tech in terms of pay being offered by my competitors. I'm going to divide that by 2,000 to get the hourly rate. From there, I'm going to divide that number by 0.3 to get to my margin. I'm going to divide that number again by 0.87 to get to my billable rate that I'm going to give the boys to bill the homeowner. Now, they're not going to actually show that billable rate. They're going to write down all the things they're doing, and then they'll be like, okay, all rough and installation material and labor is, $290 for two, or what, $1,000, $1,500, whatever the number is. But yeah, that's where we're going to take this. Again, and this is based on science, right? So I've looked into Phil's numbers. He's getting about a 70% conversion from call to diagnostic, meaning 7 out of 10 people that call in are putting down a credit card. And then over 95% of them are converting into an accepted quote. Pretty badass, especially when his average ticket's $3,000 and he's averaging a 62% margin. Flipping amazing. I just off the top of my head, doing some rough math, looking at Indeed right now. I'm probably going to, my billable hour is probably going to be close to $170. So a 2-hour call is probably going to be, or a 2-hour project is probably going to be about $540. So it's going to cost us $540 to fix your running toilet. But it is what it is. It's just the cost of doing business. It's expensive. I mean, in the Midwest, I think we could get away with probably $130 to $140. But yeah, so that's that. You'll see me launch that operation April 22nd. I don't have the money for a truck or trucks. So what I'm going to end up doing is hiring technicians that have presentable trucks, and I'm going to pay them, $400 to $700 a month to slap my magnets on their truck during the business day, and call it a marketing usage license. Yeah, and I'll just office out of a WeWork for now, and rent a big storage shed for any laydown material. So that's going to be our bare bones bootstrap. This is how we're getting it done kind of deal. I'm really excited to run it. I mean, Phil's got a really, really, really established operation with wrapped vehicles and W-2 employees and a really nice laydown yard. We're going to be the scrappier step cousin. But anyway, so Ragnarok targeting the realtors, Pillow Picker targeting the customers of our hostile designers, and Operation Mr. Fix-It, which is our handyman, all launching over the next 2 weeks. We're rocking and rolling. We have well over $1 million of build scope sitting in design. Our first project goes to build in 2 weeks, which is about $130K. And with another 900 to $1 million behind, coming behind it very shortly. And so as soon as that kitchen hits framing, that's when I'm going to turn the ads back on, and we're going to build our next $1 million cohort of design for the design build company. While we scale up the handyman business, I'll be happy if it's doing about 80 to 100,000 a month. So what we'll do is we'll use the gross profit off the handyman to invest back into the design build company, and then just create an absolute animal of a powerhouse within a year. This is going to be really cool to document for you guys. So I just have to stay focused. I have a task here in California to take care of my colleague, Rich. here in Pacifica, and then I'm going to go back to Seattle, and I'm not leaving Seattle. I'm not going back to the island until we put $2 million into design, which really hurts because I have a 5-year-old at home who wonders why her dad is such a psycho. But anyway, that's where we're at, and I'll see you guys next week. Be good.